Writing an admission essay is the most important part of your global MBA application process. And this is the most difficult part as well for the MBA application process, because it needs a lot of introspection, and I can completely relate it to it because I've been there and done that. So it gets very difficult when you have to introspect yourself, your journey, your history, your background, everything in just 300 or 500 words. So that's why today I've invited someone who has been in this stage and have almost mentored more than 100 plus students across the globe. He has seen more than 500 essays so far, so he can be the best person who can guide you in writing or crafting an application essay. So he has designed an approach which is called a structured thinking approach. I'll not talk much about that. So he has a technical background. He's graduated, he's a gold medalist from NIT Surathkal, then he did his global MBA from SDA Bocconi, and then after that he has a rich corporate experience of technology and innovation for almost 10 years, and currently he is leading a team in Samsung headquarters in South Korea of strategy and innovation in the smartphone division. So but before I start, please do subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon on your screen, so that whenever we'll upload a lot of good videos on variety of career options, MBA, MIM, global programs, and interview, as well as on resume skills. So without wasting any further, I would like to invite Mr. Dhiraj for today's video. So let's hear it from Dhiraj. Thank you so much.
Thanks Rohit for the great introduction. Hey guys, I'm DJ, and the topic that we are going to discuss today is structured thinking. Well, in any MBA, MIM or MS essays or SOPs, there are a lot of different aspects: structured thinking, visualization, storytelling, personalization. We are going to deal with each of them in the upcoming videos, but today what we are going to tackle with is structured thinking. Now, communication is a very key aspect of being human. The ability to communicate effectively and convey your message to the reader or an audience is an art and skill which takes time, and you need to nurture and grow it. Words are very powerful, but in an essay, it's not the words that you choose, but it's the collective meaning that it conveys gives it the real power. In my experience with MBA students, I have seen that whenever there's a long question or an essay, when the word limit goes beyond 250 or 300 words, people struggle to think in a coherent way, and they just keep writing whatever comes to their mind, and then it gets harder and harder to create a coherent essay, and it kind of collapses, and it's very hard for the reader to understand. It's a very a basic problem, and with time you can actually develop it, and it will help you in every aspect of your life. What happens in general is that we stop thinking about ourselves. We are very busy with our day-to-day life, so we don't do any self-reflection, and whenever we get these questions, it's very hard to think about ourselves. As one of the famous American poets, Maya Angelou, has said, the real difficulty lies in how you think about yourself. And that's the key here. Now, what the structure can help in an essay, or why it is required, or why it is even important, is that it can help to bring the key points that you want to convey to the readers. It can help to give a good visual appeal to your essay. It can help the reader to go back and forth while he's reading your essay in a very easy and smooth fashion. It can give him essay a coherent and directional flow, so it's easy for the reader to follow your story and get right into it. Now, in my experience in my 6 years of experience with mentoring a lot of students to MBA schools and MS and MIM programs as well, I have tried to devise a plan or an approach which you can take in order to build a robust structure for your essay. Basically, that approach has 5 key elements. The first one is actually laying the ground. So building the raw material, laying the grounds for your essay. Now the second one is actually the game of associations. Now once you have laid the ground, you need to associate these things together. And then the third one is building blocks. So basically these associations will help you give some chunks and some core parts of your essay. And then the fourth one is the binders. Now the binders are which helps to, as the name suggests, it is to combine these things together and make them coherent and make a smooth flow. And finally, the last step is actually the final packaging, or defining your essay and giving a preface or a foundation to your essay. Now if you follow these 5 steps usually and practice over time, it's easier to build a good structure to your essays and questions that you answer. So let's dive into each of them one by one. So let's talk about the first step. The first step is laying the foundation or laying the ground for your essay. In this step, basically you collect information for your essay. What you can do is you can categorize them into 5 columns. Those columns would be A, whatever is asked in the question or whatever things that you need to address, and B, the examples that you want to bring out in the essays, of course with some sort of learning attached to those examples. C, the skills and qualities that you want to highlight and showcase in your essays, and D, the awards, achievements, or any significant things that you have in your profile in your life. If you feel that those are significant, then that's you should add them. And then the last part is actually immersions, electives, exchange programs, major, or whatever you can find about the school. That's your last column, E. Now these 5 columns, start listing down whatever you collect, and don't finish this in one go. You need to iterate because it won't come to your mind at once, So what you need to do is make a list, then, or maybe use some apps like OneNote or something that syncs across devices, and whenever something pops in your mind, just write it down in that column and keep building. And once you have done like 3 to 4 iterations and you feel satisfied that your list is ready, then it's okay, and then you can move to the step 2. Now the step 2 is called, I call it game of associations. Now in your life you would have done match the columns when you were a kid, or when you were in high school, or even some GMAT questions, or even some trivia and puzzles. So it shouldn't be very difficult for you to do. Now once you have listed these 5 columns, you need to make links in those things. Leave the 5th column, which was things about the school, for now. We'll use it later. Now in the first 4 columns, make sure that the first column where A, things that we need to address in the question, in the essay question, should be associated with at least one element from other columns. So make sure that happens, and then create these associations. And once you'll automatically see that things will start falling into place, things will start getting related to each other, and you can you will see some kind of trends and patterns emerging. And what this will, you will see a lot of stories coming out of it, and that will give you your core chunks and pieces of your essay, which are in a story in itself, and which will help you to build the essay. So that's the step 2. Now the next step, the step 3, is actually building these blocks together. So what you need to do is that now you have some core pieces here and there which have their own identity. Now you need to stick them together. You would have done a question in GMAT where you need to create a flow about sentences or arrange the sentences in a sequence. Well, there can be multiple options, but there's only one perfect option. So now what you need to do is you need to look for that. So you try to arrange these core blocks together and see what works best. And while you are arranging them, also try to focus on the layers, on the kind of things that you need to make them stick together to form a structure, and create a smooth flow, paragraph by paragraph. So one paragraph should lead to the next paragraph naturally. It shouldn't be forced and shouldn't be abrupt. And what sometimes it's hard, I understand, sometimes it's hard to actually link things, so you can use some kind of superficial statements, like adding a sentence at the end of the paragraph which gives kind of a introduction to the next paragraph, and then it will still create a flow. But don't use it too much. Try to make it as much natural as you can, and if not, then yeah, you can use you can use this technique to create a flow. So that's the 3rd piece. Now the 4th piece is actually binders. Now binders is key for any essay, because that will help you to differentiate yourself, personalize your essay, and also show to the school that why you want to go to that school, or why you should be selected, and why there is a good fit. So in this part, now you need to make use of the 5th column, which is the list of things about the school. Now these are your binder materials. Try to sprinkle them at the right places. See where they gel well, and each of their in each of your core chunks, put them at right places, and try to attach them at different places, and try to do as much research as you can about the school, and assume whatever you can't. So it's okay to assume, and this is the place where you need to be, you need to think freely, be bold and aggressive in suggesting things you want to do, and things you want to experience, and it's the place where you want to showcase and differentiate yourself. So that's the 4th piece. Now the final part is actually packaging your essay, because you need to actually, now we have a lot of things together, now you need to package it and promote it in a way that it has a meaning. So what it means is basically two things. One is having a strong introduction or foundation to your essay, which is kind of, think about it as a preface to a book, or something, you know, which actually gives it a context or creates a backdrop of your story or what is coming in the essay. So it should spark interest and it should lead the user to, you know, what is coming next. And ending should be forward looking. So you don't, because this essay is not a complete in itself, you need to leave it open ended, because the next steps to follow are MBA or MS or MIM, and you know, your career post MBA career. So what you need to do is you need to keep it open ended, open for absorption. So structure, so you should show that, you know, you have built your structure. Now there are the missing pieces of the puzzle are actually what you're looking forward to. And that's the meaning of forward looking ending at the end of the structure. Now that makes your structure complete. So those are the 5 steps that I have designed in order to provide a good structure to the essay. If you follow these steps and keep practicing, I think you will develop a good thinking ability over time. And here's a tip. So if you're applying to a lot of schools, I'm sure you're going to write more than 15 to 20 essays or questions. So why not develop a skill along with? So it's better to learn something. So follow these steps, practice it, and I'm sure you will learn a skill over time. And we are gonna talk about more of the topics, as I mentioned, about essay writing and things that you should, you know, keep in mind while you are applying for universities in the upcoming videos. So stay tuned for future videos, and if you have any comments or any questions or any queries that you would like to ask, please write it in the comment section, or you know, you can reach out to us on our website as well. So thanks guys.